Cultural heritage is an expression of the ways of living developed by a community and passed on from generation to generation, including customs, practices, places, objects, and artistic expressions and values. Cultural heritage is often expressed as either intangible or tangible cultural heritage. So this time, let's talk about the two types of heritage. The first one is the tangible heritage, which is an objects, artifacts, buildings, places, and monuments are known as tangible cultural heritage. So tangible cultural heritage has a physical presence, or in short, it is touchable or you can see it. But let's go more specific to that. Let's take a look at the examples of tangible cultural heritage. The first one is the Saint Matthias Church in Tumawini, Isabela. It was started in 1783 but finished in 1805, and it's already considered by the National Commission on Cultural and the Arts as one of the culturally significant buildings in the Philippines because of its Baroque style. Next is the famous Manonggol jar found in Tabon Cave in Palawan, Philippines. This jar dated back 190 to 710 BC, long before Christ was born on earth. And as you can see there are two men riding in a boat at the top of the jar because our ancestors before believed that the way to the afterlife is not through the air but by riding on a boat through the water. That's the way afterlife. Of course, the Banawi Rice Terraces, it was declared as one of the seven wonders of the world but it is considered as UNESCO's World Heritage Site. It was also said that it was built 2000 years ago, but I think it was found out that it was 400 years ago. Next is the Bonifacio Monument, found in Caloocan City. This recalls the Philippine Revolution spearheaded by Andres Bonifacio in the late 19th century, and this was sculpted by the national artist Guillermo Tolentino in 1933. And of course, we have the kalasag. It was being used by the Filipino tribes, especially the Dingyans and the Igorot. And just like Manonggol jar, kalasag also one of our artifacts. So alright, so those are the example of tangible heritage, the objects, artifacts, the buildings, the places, and the monuments. So all you have to remember is that when we say tangible heritage are the things which have physical appearance or physical presence. So let's go on the next is the intangible cultural heritage. Are the traditions and living expressions inherited from ancestors and passed on the descendants. Intangible heritage includes cultural practices, superstitions, oral traditions, and language, skills, techniques, and knowledge, including dance, songs, stories, crafts, medicines, and designs. Take a look of some examples of intangible cultural heritage, and let's start with the first one. It's the very interesting Hudhud chants of the Ifugaos. This Hudhud chants was proclaimed by UNESCO as the masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. This chant tells about ancestral heroes, religious beliefs, and their traditional practices, and reflect the importance of rice cultivation. Next is the famous Singkil dance. The Maranaos people, and when we say Singkil dance, it is part of the ethnic poem Rangin, has 17 cycles with 72,000 rhymes. The next one is the weaving of banig in summer. Not just in summer but in other parts of the Philippines also. And when we say banig, it's the traditional hand woven mat for sleeping or sitting. And process of doing it makes it belong to intangible cultural heritage because it about the skills of the Filipino in making crafts, not just the making of banig but the other crafts, the process of doing it. It is considered as the intangible cultural heritage. Next is the very famous albularyo. Filipino traditional healers. Why famous? Because in the provinces, if you don't have much money, you prefer more to go albularyo instead of going to medical doctors because it's far more cheap. Actually, this albularyo originated from the Babaylan. Babaylan is a spiritual leader, an educational leader before, like the right hand of Sultan. Last one is the translation of the Black Nazarene of Quiapo, Manila. The Black Nazarene is one of the images of Jesus Christ that inspires intense veneration among the dominantly Catholic Filipinos. Every year on January 9, the image is brought out for the commemoration of its transfer or translation or arrival at Quiapo Church from another church in Bagong Bayan.